Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel where today we are going to be going through an MLB tier list, power rankings, however you want to call it, after the first basically month and a couple weeks of the season now that we are in May. A couple of teams have been surprising, a couple of them have really disappointed so far this year, so let's go ahead and go through the categories, then we'll get into the teams as well. So first category, World Series. Basically, these are teams I think have a really good shot of both reaching and winning this year's World Series at this point. So the top tier teams. Divisional teams that are in contention to win their division and maybe win a playoff series, but not really expected to make it to the World Series. Wild card teams are kind of in that wild card hunt at the moment. Teams that might be able to sneak in there but not make it too far. Mid teams are playing all right, basically around 500, nothing too spectacular. Then we have bad, meaning teams are just bad. And then we have White Sox bad, which are just the most absolute bottom of the barrel, terrible teams that are no one should be paying attention to at all. So let's go ahead and get started with the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are currently sitting at 14 and 18, fourth in their division. I'm going to put them right now in bad. I mean, they're not playing great baseball. They're 4 games under 500. The only reason why they're not on the base is because another team is sucking even more than they are. It's just a bit of a disappointment compared to the team that made the World Series last year to be this bad. I do think they will turn around here shortly. They're too talented, too good to really stay down there for long. But for now, they are in bad. Next up, we got the Atlanta Braves. This team has a World Series contender, currently 20-9. The only team in the National League does not have double-digit losses. Actually, the only team in MLB that doesn't have double-digit losses. They're firing on all cylinders right now. Currently leading the East by a half game. They're just playing the way the Braves have played the past few years, having a really strong regular season. And so, right now, definitely a World Series contender. Next up, we got Baltimore, currently sitting at 20-11, first in the AL East. Putting them in World Series contender. Had a bit of a shaky start the year. Some player pitching has not gone as planned. Jackson Holiday did not pan out so far at the major league level, sent back down to AAA to get some more seasoning. But Colton Cowser has been insane. Gunnar Henderson's been great. Corbin Burns has been a really good player for them, which I miss because I love Corbin on the Brewers. But Baltimore is playing some really good baseball, and I expect them to be there at the end. So currently at the World Series. Next up, we have the Boston Red Sox at 18 and 14. Right now, I have them as a wild card team. They're playing good. They're playing very solid baseball. 4 games over 500. Good for third in their division. And one of the wild card spots right now, they're in. They're half game back of a wild card spot due to losses and stuff, but they're in contention. They're playing good, so right now in wild card. Divisional, the Cubs. I'm putting up there in divisional, even though they're currently a game back of the Milwaukee Brewers. They're still there. I think is going to really come down to the wire between the Cubs and Brewers. They dealt with some injuries, and also having Craig Counsell as their manager. Late games doesn't make the best decisions, but Chicago Cubs are playing some pretty solid baseball, and I think it's going to be them and Milwaukee coming down the stretch. And then we got Chicago White Sox. Easily the worst team of baseball right now, which is insane saying something because 2 other teams are in contention. But Chicago only has 6 wins on the season. Been playing terrible baseball. The offense is non-existent. The pitching sucks. And it's just, there's not much else I can really say about them because they're just awful. Absolutely awful. Next, we've got the Cincinnati Reds, who are going to be the first team I'm putting in the mid category. Currently 16 and 15, third place in their division. Really, they're here because Elly De La Cruz is putting it all together. Dude is a monster, leading the league in steals, getting close to double-digit home runs starting in May, and he's playing fantastic. He does make some mistakes as a defender, but overall playing really good baseball. So right now, Cincinnati's in mid, but they might be able to make a run here shortly. Next up, Cleveland Guardians, divisional. They have surprisingly played very good baseball. Currently 10 games over 500 at 20-10, leading the AL Central at the moment. So playing really, really good baseball. Not really much else to say there. Next up is Colorado Rockies. Worst team in the National League. Only have 7 wins. What are they doing in Colorado? They've just sucked for the past few years. I don't get it. I mean, Chris Bryant has not worked out at all. There's no pitching. The offense ain't doing too much. Again, overall just kind of bad. Next, we've got the Detroit Tigers joining Boston in the wild card tier. Has some really good pitching right now. Offense, you are worried about a little bit here, but 18-13, 2.5 games out of their division. Playing, again, some really good baseball. So, right there, wild card tier for the Detroit Tigers. Next up, we have the Houston Astros, who, even though I'm tempted to put them down on White Sox bad, I'm putting them at the bottom of bad because, to me, there is no way that a team that is this talented will stay this bad for long. And there's a difference between them and what the other 3 teams are doing that are going to be in that tier. So, but it is very, very concerning how off Houston has been. We've been used to Astros as being a really, really dominant team. And seeing them right now, it is very, very concerning. So, Houston, I don't hope they get it together because I don't like the Astros. But for their sakes, they need to get better. They really, really do. And it's been a very big disappointment. Next up, we got Kansas City, who is going to be joining up here in divisional because they, again, have been playing really, really good baseball. Pitching has been surprisingly good. Bobby Witt Jr. has been amazing. Salvador Perez has been hitting the ball very, very well. So right now they're in divisional, even though they're behind Cleveland by about 2 games. I think those are the 2 teams going to be added for that division. So kind of similar rankings, going to be there together. Next up, we got the LA Angels. They're bad. 11-20. Mike Trout just went down with a knee injury after he was initially looking to be a really, really good, having really good numbers. I just want Mike Trout to be healthy. That should be the wish of every baseball fan, is for Mike Trout to be healthy. And when he's not, baseball is a worse sport for it. So, get better, Mike. But the Angels, they're going to have to be nothing without him. So, they might get down to White Sox bad here soon. Next up, we got the LA Dodgers. World Series contender. Any team that has Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman in their offense is a World Series contender. Yamamoto has been pitching very well recently after his bad game in Korea. So, LA easily in the World Series team. Don't need to explain too much. And the last team is going to be a White Sox bad is the Miami Marlins. They have had a very disappointing start to their year. 9 wins. Offense not doing great. Pitching not doing great. So, yeah, they started to figure out a little bit here recently, not being as bad as Chicago, but not being too good either. So they're definitely in the bottom 3 for now. Next up is my Milwaukee Brewers, and they are a divisional team. Like I said, when I talk about the Cubs, they're going to be there at the end for the season. They always are, even with injuries taking out Christian Yelich and several of their pitchers to start the year, and they did not have much pitching depth at all. William Contreras has been fantastic for them. Bryce Turang has had a really strong second season. Freddie Peralta has been great as well, even though his suspension is stupid. And there's just several other players that are performing really, really well in this lineup that is really carrying the team right now as we try to figure out the pitching situation. So, Milwaukee playing really good baseball. And then we have the Minnesota Twins, currently at 17-13, going to be down here in wild card tier. Again, playing really good really solid baseball. It just sucks that 3 other teams in our division are also playing good baseball at the moment, so can't be any higher than wild card. But I think Minnesota will make a run for that division, so not too much to worry about there. Let's go to the New York Mets at 16-15. They're mid. They're playing okay baseball. They've had some rough stretches. They had some good stretches, but 16-15, I think most Met fans would take after the disappointment of last season. So there are some improvements there, but not really much else to say. Next up, we got the New York Yankees, who I'm going to put in World Series contender because Juan Soto has been absolutely amazing for them. Pitching has been solid. They're currently a game back of Baltimore. I think they're going to be one of the top teams in AL this year, so I'm going to put the Yankees up there. Next up, we got the Oakland A's currently at 15 and 17, and they're actually kind of mid right now, which is insane. Thinking like these are the Athletics, the team that was like one of the worst teams all year last year, whose owners moving them to Vegas because of how bad he made that team, and they're playing really solid baseball. The bullpen has been insane, like absolutely insane. Pitching has been really solid. Offense kind of struggles a little bit at times, but hey, I gotta give Oakland credit for where they're at right now. So good on you, Oakland. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Phillies, another team I'm going to put here in World Series contender because they are off to a torrid start, 21-11, only a half game back of the Braves in the division. They have the experience, they got the pitching, they got the offense. Not really much to say about Philadelphia right now. Next up, we got Pittsburgh, currently sitting at 14 and 18, going to be down here in the bad category after a really strong start to the year. Everyone kind of knew they're going to fade a little bit, so no one is too surprised that Pittsburgh is here. It's just what we all expected the Pirates to be. Next up, we have the Padres sitting at 16 and 18. Not playing good baseball. They're going to go at the back end of mid because they're only 2 games below 500, but not impressive what the Padres are doing. Is not really that good, so we're going to go down there. Then we got the San Francisco Giants, 15 and 17, also going to be in mid-tier. Just a team that's kind of hovering around 500, a couple games above and below, and you just don't know what they're going to do because they're good for some games, bad for others. So San Francisco going down there in mid. Next up is Seattle, currently 17 and 14, currently leading their division. Even though it's not really impressive, the AL West seems to be very weak so far this year. So Julio Rodriguez starting to get hot, which is good for them, but not too impressed with what Seattle has been doing. Next up is the St. Louis Cardinals, currently sitting at 14 and 17. They're going to be down here with Pittsburgh and bad. They're just, I don't know why they decided to build an old roster. I mean, the pitching has not been there. Offense has struggled. Goldschmidt has struggled. Arenado has struggled to start the year. And so it's just a bunch of old guys playing baseball, and it's not working out at all. So going down there and bad. Next up is Tampa Bay, 14 and 18. They are surprisingly in the bad tier as well, and I don't really know why. I mean, they have a good roster, got a good pitching staff. It's just things haven't fallen the way they should for Tampa Bay. So currently they're in bad. Next up is the Texas Rangers. They're going to go in wild card tier. They're a half game back at Seattle, but again, since the AL West is kind of weak so far, they don't make it quite to be up in these tiers. But I mean, I still believe Texas is going to take over sometime soon. They just won the World Series. They play good baseball. They got great star power. So right now, Texas is in wild card tier. Down here. Next up is Toronto, 15 and 17. They're mid. They're playing a really tough division, so kind of hard to say that. But currently, just not playing the greatest at all. Next up, we have the Washington Nationals, currently at 15 and 16. Another team that's kind of just mid. They're just there, but for them, that is an improvement. They want to be mid, because that means they keep building up. CJ Abrams has looked like he has arrived. So overall, a really good start for Washington. So yeah, this is my tier. This is the World Series. You got the Atlanta Braves, Philadelphia Phillies, LA Dodgers, Baltimore Orioles, and New York Yankees. Divisional is the Cleveland Guardians, Milwaukee Brewers, Kansas City Royals, Chicago Cubs, Seattle Mariners, Wildcard Detroit Tigers, Boston Red Sox, Texas Rangers, Minnesota Twins, Mid Cincinnati Reds, New York Mets, Washington Nationals, Oakland A's, Toronto Blue Jays, San Diego Padres, San Francisco Giants. Bad are the Arizona Diamondbacks, Tampa Bay Rays, Pittsburgh Pirates, St. Louis Cardinals, LA Angels, and Houston Astros. And White Sox bad are the Miami Marlins, Colorado Rockies, and Chicago White Sox. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed the content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back soon with more content. Peace out.